practice till 1/4 and have some time for Q&A. So beginning in the chair, ground your 2 sitting bones, base of the pelvis. I'll sit sideways for the moment to give a little bit of visual help here. Grounding the 2 bottom corners of the pelvis. Just you can rock a little bit side to side to just feel what it's like to have more weight on the right sitting bone, more weight on the left, and then just find center. From the tailbone, take your mind's eye all the way up the spine in a little walk, lifting and separating each vertebra, a little more space, a little taller from vertebra to vertebra as you walk up the spine. And you can also lightly draw the navel towards the spine for a moment. Just hold it to engage the core and feel what it's like to have a sense of length and scaffolding that really helps protect your spine, your abdominal organs, your low back. And then you can release the navel. We'll move into a little bit of cat and cow. So as we inhale, rolling to the front of the sitting bones, let the belly kind of spill open forward, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, elbows toward each other, and the gaze up. And as we exhale, we curl, moving to the back of the sitting bones. Let the base of the rib cage and the whole mid-back really round and curl. And you can bring the crown of the head forward in a C curve. And then inhaling, lifting and arching. And exhaling, curling. Taking this in your own breath. You might be faster than I am or slower than I am. Take it let your own breath dictate and be the guide. And of course, feel free to stop anywhere along the way if you have some tension and just kind of be with that spot or spots. Just right away in our practice, absorbing the attention, diving into sensation linked to breath. That's our basic meditation practice in yoga, is a one-pointed focus on how breath and movement meet. You could call it a 2-pointed focus if you want to be more technically clear, I suppose, breath and body, but it's really breath in conjunction with body. A one-pointed attention on sensation. And then come on back to neutral. And one more time, just draw the navel to the spine and notice how that really helps to lift the torso. And we'll take that block, move to the side of your chair, place that block between the knees. That's going to just help to stabilize the knees and keep them in line with each other. Block in its lowest, its thinnest position. And once again, stabilize the sitting bones, sit up tall. Inhale, lift the spine, and then exhale, twist. I'm sitting with my knees off to the right of the chair. Twist to the right. Take the back of the chair. You can pull with the left hand and push with the right hand to work your way into a twist. So on the inhale, the spine is tall, and on the exhale, you do that little push-pull maneuver to help rotate the spine. Nothing too huge or heroic. And then squeezing just lightly on that block, and you can even take a look to see that your knees stay roughly parallel with each other. And then as you're ready, undo that, come on back. I'll show you from another angle. You just have to turn around so that your legs are to the left side of the chair. Place the block in between the knees and ground the feet. Inhale, lift tall. And exhale, turn to the left. And now it's my right hand that's pulling and my left hand that's pressing. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, lengthen the spine from tail to crown. And exhale, taking a bit of twist to the left. Just really feeling some openness in the belly. A lift before we start that twist, making the abdominal area a little more pliable. And then as you're ready, come on out of that. You can place the block to the side. Take the knees and separate them wide. You can sit back as far as you like in the chair or forward, depending on how that feels for you. We're going to fold forward, wide knees. And you can take forearms to the thighs or hands to the ankles or to the floor. The first thing is to really extend the spine very long. Feel that you can hollow out the belly a little bit. And then from here, you might want to bring the forearms back to the thighs if you had length. From here, just a little bit of cat and cow. So as we inhale, we lengthen. It might just be neutral, it might be a little bit of arch. And as we exhale, we curl, navel to the spine, especially in the lower part of the abdomen. See if you can get a nice curl to that low belly, low back, sacrum area. Inhaling and lengthening, exhaling and curling. So a little bit of a massage for the abdominal area, if you will. And then one more time, just lengthening. And if you want, you can even fold over. You can hold opposite elbows and hang, or hands to the floor, or hands through the chair to the back bar if you have something like that. Like I have, just a little bit of forward fold or some kind of lengthening. And then as you're ready, you can come on back. So today is the middle of the month of Av, the 15th, Tet Vav, right, which is known as Tu B'Av. Just like Tu B'Shvat, the 15th of Shvat is the birthday of the trees. Tu B'Av is known as the day for lovers, kind of like Israeli Valentine's Day in modern times. It's a post-biblical holiday, and it marked the start of the great grape harvest. And in the Second Temple period, young unmarried women would go out to dance in the vineyards on Tu B'Av, and it was considered a day of matchmaking, a day to find a bride. Today, just sort of a positive light in this month of Av, a nice balance to Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, the day of destruction and brokenness that we talked about over the last couple weeks. So happy Tu B'Av to everyone. It also happens to be my wedding anniversary with my spouse, David, so that's fun that it coincides. We are going to talk about Parshat Ekev. The Torah portion for this week is Ekev. Remember that we're in Deuteronomy, and mostly this is in Moses' voice, and often directly as the narrator, sort of Moses' point of view. This Torah portion talks a little bit about coming into the land, and what you should obey, and what happens if you don't obey God's laws. There's a lot of discussion on remembering, Lema'an tizkor, v'zacharta. You see it a lot through the portion. It begins, you shall faithfully, or in chapter 8 begins, you shall faithfully observe all the instructions that I enjoin upon you this day, today, so that you may thrive and increase and be able to possess the land that Yud He Vav He promised on oath to your fathers, right? Moses speaking. Kol mitzvah asher anochi mitzavecha hayom tishmerun. You shall guard it. You shall guard these instructions. La'asot lema'an tichyun, so that you can live a long life. It was translated as thrive, but to live, so that you can live. Okay, so I want to move to a part of this chapter, verses roughly 7 to 18 or so, that that really form the basis of our daily blessing after meals, our gratitude, Birkat Hamazon. For Adonai your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with streams and springs and fountains issuing from plain and hill, a land of wheat and barley, of vines, figs, and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey. So I'm counting them on my fingers. That's 7. That's known as the Sheva Minim, the 7 species of what's found in the land of Israel. A land where you may eat food without stint, where you will lack nothing. A land whose rocks are iron, and from whose hills you can mine copper. When you have eaten your fill, this is the verse I want to bring deep attention to. When you have eaten your fill, give thanks to the Lord your God for the good land which God has given you. Ve'achalta, when you've eaten. Ve'savata, and been satisfied. Uverachta, and you shall bless. Et Adonai Elohecha, your God, Yud-Heh Vav-Heh, al ha'aretz hatova, on this good land, asher natan lach, that he's given to you. And then it goes on, take care lest you forget all of these things, because of course we know you will, remembering and forgetting constantly. Let your heart not grow haughty in any way that you forget all the bounty that Yud-Heh Vav-Heh has given to you. So that's this piece that I want to discuss in this portion. So we're talking about eating, satisfaction, blessing, right? How do we eat? How do we digest? How do we understand when we're satisfied? And then then blessing afterwards is a real teaching of gratitude, of hoda'ah, that we can practice in our lives, which is really certainly enriching. Anyone who has a regular practice of gratitude knows how enriching and life-giving this can be. Really helping us set our minds well with intention of gratitude. So, eat, ve'achalta, you shall eat. Come, now I'm putting it sort of in yoga terms. Let's bring it to the experience of yoga. Eat, come to the mat, be invested, be fully in your practice, partake of the various shapes and movements and breaths and things that will expand each of us. V'savata, and be satisfied. Observe, take it in. Notice when you've had enough of the pose. I'm done now. Thank you. I feel it. I got from it. I understand. I've had enough. Let it be enough. And let yourself be enough. That's true for food. It's true for yoga. Uverachta, and you shall bless. Give thanks that you arrived here today to the mat. From wherever you were, mentally, spiritually, emotional this morning, you got here. Give thanks for that. Bless that capability that you're in a body, that it may be limited with all kinds of pains and strains and aches, but you're in a body, you're alive, and you're capable of moving and opening and noticing all of the things that go on in this body. So wherever you are in your body, in your practice, it's good. It can be for blessing. And this is true in every pose. Let every pose feel like a blessing. And then the great blessing, just like Birkat Hamazon, we make after a meal. Shavasana is really our blessing on the practice, where we pause, where we let everything that we've worked on kind of trickle into every corner of the nervous system to really understand this message. So always remember Shavasana. That's something that Mr. Iyengar always said, BKS Iyengar, who was very much responsible for bringing yoga to the West. It's something I heard a lot from one of my early teachers, Rodney Yee. Always remember Shavasana. And lastly, before we move on, I just want to share some words from the late Thich Nhat Hanh of blessed memory. He died in 2022. Thich Nhat Hanh said, if you truly get in touch with a piece of carrot, you get in touch with the soil, the rain, the sunshine. You get in touch with Mother Earth. And eating in such a way, you feel in touch with true life, your roots, and that is meditation. If we chew every morsel of our food in that way, we become grateful. And when you are grateful, you are happy. So you could say, if we chew every morsel of our food, or if we chew every morsel of our yoga practice, every morsel of each pose, then we really get a sense of that. So I want to give a nod to the idea of digestion, literally digesting our food and doing a little bit for the belly, as we started with already. And in general, the sense of digestion. How do we digest our own experiences? How do we digest what we take in from the world? That's really how we get from yoga on the mat to yoga off the mat, right? So you can move your chair over to the side. We're going to begin with some hip circles, so you can take your feet a little wider than hip width apart. And just think of whether it's stirring from your navel or moving the hips in a circle. You can begin in either direction, and you can begin slowly and then start to widen out the circle. Keep a slight bend on the knees. And come around. I'm seeing a lot going on in the chat, so I just want to check. Thank you for all the anniversary wishes. Okay, I'm glad that it's not about any static. So glad you can hear. And then when you're ready, you can pause and take the circles in the opposite direction, beginning slowly and widening out, and just really feeling the range of motion of these hips. And you can also, if it naturally arises, begin to let the torso get involved too. You can really just feel what's possible for the hips today. Possible or guardrails, not possible, and then come back to center. And we're going to take a figure 8 movement. So going to the right, coming around the outside, and then coming back to center and coming around to the left. If you started in the other direction, no problem, but just think of a figure 8 making a half circle on one side and then coming through center and a half circle on the other side. It can be confusing at first, and sometimes it helps to use your arms, as I'm doing, to just remind your hips where they're going. And then we can switch direction. And that's where it can sometimes get confusing. Go the other direction in your figure 8. And again, you can take this as slowly and deliberately or a little faster as you would like. And you can try different speeds, different tempos, and just see how that is, and then just give it a little shake out. Okay, we're going to take an easy side bend here. We'll go over to the right side first. So 2 options. You can take your right hand to your right hip and left arm up and over, or you can hold the left wrist with the right hand. Either way is great. As we inhale, we lengthen, just like we did in the chair, pressing the feet down, lifting the spine up. And as we exhale, the hips, we shift them over towards the left as we side bend to the right. And just notice where your head, neck, chin, eyes are as you do this. Trying to keep the spine in one line, and then you can inhale, press into the feet, lift up. Take a pause if you like. Little shoulder shake out if you need. And again, we'll do the other side. So it's either like this, or it's holding onto the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen. Press the feet down as you lift up. And exhale, coming over to the side. So it doesn't have to be a big side bend. It's just a little bit of a C curve. The main thing is the length. And the main thing is really always the length, the space. Inhale, come on back up, and exhale. Here's when we're going to grab that chair again, if you have it. Place it at the front third of your mat, and face the chair. We're going to take a forward bend and grab that block one more time, place it between the thighs. This is all optional. If you don't have these props, don't worry. You still have a wonderful practice for ve'achalta, for eating, tasting of each pose. Draw the thighs together, lengthen the tailbone, hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, lengthen as you fold forward from the crease of the hips. And you can take hands to the chair or forearms to the chair. And the main thing we're going for here is, you guessed it, a lengthening of the spine and a hollowing of the abdomen. Maybe you didn't guess that part, but we hollow the abdomen as we make length and think about drawing the pubic bone back in space. Slight bend on the knees. So you can always come a little bit out or a little bit further into the pose, or just complete the pose or stay longer, whatever works for you. And if you'd like, you can fold over a little further, maybe placing forehead to the chair or bringing the forehead toward your shins, depending on the flexibility in your own personal hamstrings. And then when you're ready, press into the feet, inhale, come on up, lift up, sternum up, and then exhale, come back to neutral. And just take a break by pausing in mountain pose right here, arms to the sides, eyes soft, easy. So you notice, especially if you've been here frequently, that we often do this. We pause after a pose and we just allow, observe, notice. We've taken our fill, right? Besavata. And this is a sense of blessing, uverachta. Just putting a blessing on each pose, on each moment, to really digest it, to really be in it. And the next thing we're going to do is a downward dog variation. The block is still here if you're enjoying it. Inhale, lift the heart up. And exhale, fold forward. We're going to take the arms to the chair. It could be the top of the chair. Again, the main premium here is the length of the spine, right? And the arms can be as wide as you like. Right? Or the arms can come down to the seat of the chair. Again, if you're looking for a little longer extension and if the body allows. But the main thing is really finding that length. Draw the thighs back. Feel that you can draw the pubic bone back. And again, see if you can sense from these actions a hollowing through the abdomen, a lengthening. It's often hard to access feeling in the abdominal area, belly area. It's where we store a lot of tension, stress, trauma, past trauma. And so sometimes it's just kind of numb there. So don't worry if you're not really attuned to so much feeling. We're working on waking it up to the extent we can. And then inhale, lift up, and exhale, come back. Brief mountain pose. Just noticing how you feel, how you're doing right now. That sense of just blessing this pose, this moment. Couple of standing poses before we go down to the floor. Just briefly, let's take a look at Warrior Two. Jump or step the legs wide. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out. Both legs are straight. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. If that's not feeling so great for your own shoulders, you can keep the hands on the hips. Inhale here, the gaze is over the right fingertips, Exhale, begin to bend through the right knee. So it might be just a little. Maybe your warrior two is right here. Maybe it's a little more. Maybe you're coming more towards 90 degrees. Remember that the back leg is straight and that the front knee does not track past the front ankle. Few breaths here. Visavata, notice when you're satisfied, when you're satiated from this pose. When you've had enough, come on out. Bless your right side. Turn the feet. Inhale the arms. And exhale, bend through that left knee. Gazes over the left fingertips. Again, back leg straight. You'll see a little, a lot where you want to be in this pose. Eat of it. Enjoy of it. Breathe. Be fully present in the experience. And when you feel satiated, come on out. Be thankful for the beauty of this pose. Opening the hips, lengthening out the legs, working on the inner groins, bringing us extended energy. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold. You might choose to put your chair in front of you, or you may, bring hands to the floor. You'll see what works best for you, or to the block. Once again, jump the legs wide, even wider than warrior two. Have the edges of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat. If you can, turn the toes in just a little. Lift up through inner and outer ankle. Inhale, lift the heart. Open the whole torso. Exhale, fold forward at the crease of the hips. Lengthen the spine. Okay, so when you get here, wherever here is, that's perfect. Wherever here is for you. See that your weight is evenly distributed on the feet. Lengthen the tailbone, the pubic bone. Feel perhaps a sense of hollowness through the abdomen, some kind of access to that. And then if you'd like, start to walk the arms forward. You can have them nice and wide, like a V. Another sort of downward dog-esque fold. I like to prop up on my fingertips and really lengthen through the arms. Elbows are straight. Eyes of the elbows are moving in the direction toward the ceiling. That is to say, upper arm bones are externally rotated. Biceps moving up toward the ceiling. So find that length. When you're ready, you can make your way on back. Press into the feet. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come back to center. Hop or heel toe the feet back toward each other. And we're going to come and take a seat. You can place the chair back onto the mat once again, towards the front of the mat and facing you. Take your blanket, give it perhaps one fold. You may need less, you may need more, you may need a second blanket. You'll see. We're going to do a little bit of seated forward bend work. Sit up on the blanket so you have a little lift for the low back. The legs are straight in front of you. Perhaps, if that's not working so much, if your hamstrings are tight and if you're feeling grabbing in your hip flexors and it's hard to sit up, then you want to bend the knees. And you can put a blanket roll or towel or something under them, or just keep them bent. So there's always a variation that suits everybody. So never give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself when you're practicing yoga. We just have to find the way, the right way for ourselves. Take the palms of the hands onto your blanket and just very, very lightly pressing down as you widen the collarbones and draw the elbows toward each other. It's like the elbows kind of magnetize toward each other. And that helps too to send the upper back muscles and the shoulder blades down the back. So we're just sitting up. This is called staff pose. deceptively difficult, I find. Most people find, because there's often so much grabbing in the hip flexors. I think it took me 25 years to work on that alone in my practice. So ve'achalta, eat of this pose. Be present right here. Take it in. And then notice when you're done. Notice when you're satisfied, you've had enough. And then just pause and be grateful for the teachings of this pose. The next thing that we are going to do is a little bit of a twist. So we're going to bend the right knee and take hold of the right shin and sit up tall. And then we're going to take the right arm out front, inhale, and as we exhale, bring it across the horizon here. Extend it out from the shoulder, bring it behind you to the extent you can, and then take the hand down behind you, and you have a twist. So you can also bend your elbow and hold the knee in the crook of the elbow if you like, or take the elbow to the outside of the knee. See what you need here in this twist. You can even take your right hand to your belly and kind of move the skin of the abdomen from the left side to the right side. So you create an invitation to make some openness in this twist. Twists are really good for moving digestion along, for keeping health through the colon, through the whole abdominal area, for dissolving emotional tensions. When you're ready, come on back. And then just take a counter twist, opening to the left for a moment. Okay, come on back. Bend the left knee. Take hold of the shin. Inhale and lengthen the spine. Bring the left arm forward, and as you exhale, we're taking the left arm to the left, taking a twist to the left. Same thing over here on this side. Just pay attention to the singularities, uniqueness of taking the twist to your second side. It's always a little bit different than the first side. Every body's a little bit different. Eat of the pose. Breathe. Be really with it right here, right up until you're done. And then there is that moment where you notice, I've had it, I've had enough. Come on back. Take a counter twist. And then come on back to center. Extend both legs now. We're going to take a forward bend. Your choice, yogi's choice. You could just continue with staff pose if that's enough, or hands to the chair and press down as you lift the chest up to just work here. Or if you'd like to begin to come forward, and again, if you have a bridge chair like I do, something that has a bar at the back, it can be so nice to rest the front ball of the foot across that bar. Inhale, lift up tall. And as we exhale, fold slightly forward. So the fold is coming not from the waist, but from the hips. Long spine, tail to crown, coming forward. And we take this incrementally. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold or lengthen forward. A bit more. Inhale, find your length. And exhale, fold. And then you can pause wherever you like. It might be forearms to the chair and just resting your head here. It might be extending your arms and taking the opposite edge, the back of the chair. Maybe you're not using the chair, you're folding over, you're holding big toes as you inhale and lengthen. And exhale and fold. All these forward bends and twists, so good for the digestion. And when you've had enough, Savata, you sit up. And a moment, uverachta, for blessing. Being thankful for that shape, for that movement. Before we come to Shavasana, resting pose, I want to share with you a wonderful little abdominal massage. You can sit back onto your heels, as I'm doing, or sit in the chair, either way. If this is not comfortable on your knees, by all means, then sit in the chair. It's the same either way. I'll show you frontally what I'm doing here. So you're going to take your left hand, I guess I'll mirror for you. You're going to take your left hand and come over to the lower right portion of your abdomen. Okay? And you're going to find kind of that hollow right next to the hip bone. Lift yourself long as you inhale, and then exhale, fold over the belly. Bring your head down so that you feel the fist as a little bit of a massage. This is massaging the ascending colon. So you always want to start in that lower right. It's the ascending colon. See if you can soften and lightly breathe around it. Might give a little bit of discomfort, but it shouldn't feel like too much discomfort. If it does, then pause. You can come out of it. You can do something else. And then we want to move on to the lower left side. So we take the right hand with a fist, bring it to the lower left, right inside the hip bone again here. Let the forearm really come across the belly. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold down. You just let the forehead drop. And this massages the descending colon. Right? So you want to hit the ascending colon first, and then the descending colon. This is especially great if you're having any abdominal issues, particularly bloating, constipation, that kind of thing, really good to help get things moving. And then come on up and just pause, take the hands to the thighs. You can allow the eyes to close if you'd like. Notice your breath coming in and out, and really use your abdominal breathing to give a massage, an aliveness to the abdominal organs. And then we're going to come to rest with the knees, the lower legs onto the chair. So you can take the blanket for your head, or you could put the blanket over your chair if you like. This is especially nice to rest the low back, this variation of Shavasana. So you want to take the lower legs all the way up to the back of the knee so that the whole lower leg can be onto the chair. The thigh bone has a bit of an angle here. Then you can lay it down any way you like with the hands. You can allow the eyes to close if you'd like. And then this is really the virachta, the final blessing portion of our practice. It's quietly giving thanks and allow blessing to infuse the body, the tissues, all cells. When you're ready, you can deepen the breath, starting to come back to the surface, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take all the time you need to come back to a comfortable seat. We've eaten, we've been satiated, we have blessed. Partaken of our practice fully, with full heart, full mind, full body investment. You can rest in that knowing with these closing breaths. A full digestion of practice. And to be complete in our practice, we never hold the fruits of our work, of our practice, in tight to ourselves, to our own hearts, to our own beings, but we really extend the fruits of practice forward. If there is anyone for whom you are praying, anyone who's ill, who needs your energies, can send out. And as we've been doing every Monday, as is part of our Monday and Thursday traditional liturgy, we've been singing Achenu cultivate Israel together, a wish for the captives. Now we have about 115 hostages, living and deceased. Not sure of their state. We send out a blessing that they will be restored soon, especially while Blinken is in the Middle East, that they be restored home safely and in good health, those who are still alive. May it be so. So feel free to sing together with me, or just to let sound wash over you. The words and transliteration are on the screen. Achenu kol beit Yisrael, Achyoteinu kol beit Yisrael, Hanetunim betzara, betzara uvashivya, Haomdim ben bayam, uven bayabasha. Hamakom yerachem aleim, veyotziem mitzara, liravacha, umeafel leora, umishibud ligeula, hashtan bagala, uvizman kariv. Hashta ba'agala uvizman kariv, venomar amen. Thank you all for practicing today. I have a little bonus video, if you would like, that I'm going to share with you, which is an abdominal massage. It's a little YouTube video, like 7-8 minutes, abdominal massage to wake up the belly. I think it's titled Abdominal Massage for Constipation, but no matter. Even if you're doing well, it's really good to just wake up and be in touch with the abdominal area. So, let's see.